Boom! What is going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to another live beer review. I think it's, what is it, Sunday now? Yeah, I think it's Sunday. So today I got an interesting, pretty cool one for you guys today. Of course, it's another one from Anchorage Brewing Company. You guys know that I drink a lot of beers from Anchorage Brewing Company. I'm going to be completely honest here. They've made some fantastic beers over the time I've had some of their stuff, and it's just probably one of my favorite breweries of all time. I can definitely be honest with that. But today we got a double IPA from them coming out at 8.4% called Lilith's Brethren. It's the Lilith's Brethren double IPA, and it's actually brewed with Amarillo and Mosaic hops, which sounds like a really nice combination due to Amarillo having some spice notes and having a little bit of like tropical fruit and definitely some different aromas coming through that as well. But also with Mosaic bringing very, very strong citrus and tropical fruit heavy. I'm expecting this to be a nice kind of pretty damn tasty double IPA. Just look at that can art. Holy crap, this stuff is badass looking. I'm going to be definitely honest here. This stuff looks freaking awesome. So, yeah, Anchorage is kind of known in my head for making some of the best IPAs I've ever had personally, just because I've had so much of their stuff, and there's just always been a very, very nice consistency of just making absolutely fantastic beers, IPAs, stouts, barley wines, you name it. Whatever I've had for them have been awesome. So I'm expecting this to kind of be in that same realm. Of course, I have never tried this one before, so who knows, it could be a little bit different than any other ones I've tried. So I think it's time for us just to get into the damn thing and give this one a try already. So let's crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose. Of course, it being an 8.4%, I would definitely not consider this one being sessionable in my opinion. Definitely getting some tropical fruit notes. Definitely getting more like a pine and like a little bit of like spice kind of note coming through, probably from the Amarillo. But yeah, I think it smells absolutely delicious. So I'm not really sure what the haziness is going to be like with this guy, due to it not being considered like a New England hazy IPA on Untapped. I'm just thinking it's going to be a nice, maybe have some nice oranges kind of colors to it, maybe more of a murkiness instead of like an actual haziness, but we'll find out when we pour this guy. So I'll be drinking out of my Untapped pint glass this afternoon, so let's pour this thing and see what it's all about. Okay, it definitely has a golden color to it. Getting more of like a murkiness instead of like a haziness. I would definitely put this in the realm of something being murky instead of hazy. But it's pouring really good. Not much ahead, but I think this looks absolutely delicious. Definitely in my head, I would consider this is more murky than hazy, due to I can kind of still see through it when I look through the glass. So they definitely use clearing agents. This one is okay. Of course, there's different ways you can use clearing agents in a beer. You can use, there's so many different things. You can use gelatin to do it. For gluten-free options, I know they have it's specific something, but it's actually made out of liquefied shrimp shells. That actually what we use at Fibs to clarify our beer. So there's a lot of different things that you can use to make your beer clear and just not take out any kind of murky or haziness of it. It's pretty interesting to see. So aromas after I pour it, let's see. Still getting tropical fruit heavy. Definitely getting a little bit of a spice, like piney, resiny kind of note. Yeah, I think this smells absolutely fantastic. So let's give this guy a try and see what it's all about. So, cheers, everybody. Happy Sunday. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. That's actually right up front. You get a good sweetness, but you definitely get that spice, kind of like piney, hazy. It definitely reminds me more of like a West Coast IPA, just not as crazy. Just like in your face, freaking pine, resiny kind of flavors. Definitely has a slight sweetness that's right up front. But overall, this is smooth. It doesn't really taste boozy at all. And it's pretty damn delicious. Well, yep, this is a nice change of pace from some of the hazy stuff that I've had from them. That's for damn sure. Yeah, it's nice. Definitely has like... It's definitely... I wouldn't say it's right in your face, like juicy kind of mouthfeel, but definitely has like a slight juiciness. I would say there's definitely like a dryness in it as well, but I don't know if I put it in the realm of being like your normal West Coast IPA, where it's kind of give you an oily kind of mouthfeel, where it's just dry, oily, something like that. But overall, yeah, the flavors are really nice on this one. Upfront sweetness, definitely letting those kind of spiced and like pinier notes kind of come through in the middle, and then overall and at the very end, it's just a very nice balanced, like slight citrusiness, but there's still, you get that pininess that lingers on as well. But overall, this is a pretty damn fantastic beer from Anchorage, not gonna lie. This is another delicious one. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised one bit with this guy? But let's look at here on Untapped and see if we can find a similar beer to this guy. Let's see. Okay, so looking at the similar beers list right now, this is definitely one that I've seen before when it comes to just a very, very common similar beers list. So we're going to do something else here. Let's go open a new tab on Untapped. Let's kind of look at my beer history and see if we can narrow stuff down that might be in the similar kind of thing. So we're going to look under IPA Imperial Double. IPA, let's see, Imperial Double. There's over 99 different ones with that. So let's see here. I'm not going to recommend this one from Shorts being similar. That one's definitely more very, very upfront pininess. It was okay. It wasn't like crazy for me. We got the Caged Imperial IPA from Anchorage. Let's see. We got the Googly Eyes maybe. So Wander might have something pretty similar. I don't think the Tony's Car from Metal Monkey is going to be similar just because that's a very, very high IBU and definitely really, really hoppy. This one isn't crazy, like in your face hoppy. Let's see. This Eject Mindscape from New Image. Yeah, I could say it's pretty close to that. What else? That one I would say is more juicy and all that kind of stuff. Of course, we have one here from Waypost Brewing Co. called the Tiki IPA. Yeah, I would say that brings in some tropical fruit notes, but then if I remember correctly, that one still had some nice piney notes involved with that one as well. So yeah, I would say the Tiki one's pretty similar to this. Definitely has a sweetness. I'm not going to really say Pliny the Elder is anything like this due to Pliny just being a very, very high hobby, in-your-face kind of beer. We got some beers from Beguiled Brewing. The Big Little Things from Sierra Nevada is another double Imperial IPA that that could be pretty close. I think maybe the Big Little Things from Sierra Nevada can possibly give you a little bit of similar flavors like this one. The Voodoo Ranger Future Hopped IPA could probably do some similar notes with this guy. Burial Beer Co. definitely makes some stuff like this. They have the Gang of Blades that they do. Untitled Art. You got, what other breweries are out there? 18th Street, Single Cut Beersmiths, Adroit Theory, of course, Goose Island. There's a bunch of breweries out there that kind of make this kind of style of IPA. My biggest recommendation for things from Anchorage, Seamus, I've noticed a lot of the distribution besides only Tavour is showing up on the West Coast. So since that Anchorage kind of on the West Coast as well, they do some distribution down in like Washington State to Oregon to California. But knowing how big of a state Colorado is for craft beer and having a lot of Colorado craft beers and possibly having a lot of different distribution options out there, there's most likely a place out there that carries Anchorage. I'd be very surprised if there wasn't, because I know you can find there's some places on the East Coast that carry Anchorage Brewing Company stuff. So if you can't, my best bet is to get yourself on Untapped and see if you could find stuff near you. If you're not on Untapped yet, Seamus, that's a really good platform to use just for if you're trying to look for beer, like a specific venue. Because if you're looking at a beer that, let's just say you're looking at the Lilith Brethren right now, and if you're logged in on your account, they'll may be able to show you some verified locations and possible local spots that will have this beer or other beers from Anchorage just by kind of putting in your location on Untapped as well. Of course, that Tavour is always an option as well if you want to get yourself on Tavour. It's kind of like a beer delivery service to where you can build your own box so you can get beer delivered to you, and you might be able to see Anchorage beers showing up on that. That's how I get a lot of my Anchorage Brewing Company stuff. Plus, being in Colorado, I'm not sure how it is with alcohol shipping laws out there. So knowing how like lenient Colorado is on a lot of things, you might be able to get stuff from Tavour delivered to your door. So maybe download the Tavour app and see what your options are. I mean, the prices that you pay on Tavour, if you get enough beer, you could actually get it on a really, really good price, because as long as you kind of get enough to where it kind of covers the $15 flat shipping that it usually is. So if you get enough beers that it makes that $15 look like nothing, then you'll be perfectly fine. So I would say just check out local liquor stores or bottle shop by you, Seamus. Ask the people that do the buying, see if they can pick stuff from Anchorage, or they can find a distributor who has it. And then of course you can, Untapped's always a good option of like kind of narrow down your search and then possibly getting yourself on Tavour. Yeah, Untapped does some really cool things where they tell you venues near you that carry stuff. They have like a whole map section on there to where they have a whole map section on Untapped where it brings up verified venues, breweries, restaurants that are verified with Untapped. It's a really, really cool platform. I highly recommend getting you getting on there. If you're a craft beer lover like I am, because I know you kind of am, I think it's something that you would definitely enjoy kind of playing around with. So I would definitely recommend you get yourself on there. But let's get back to this beer because it's pretty damn delicious. So if I had to find something that was similar to this one, I mean, there's some from more of the stuff that's like kind of well known. Of course, the Sierra Nevada one, the Goose Island one that I showed. There's a lot of breweries out there that make Imperial / double IPAs around this kind of 8% mark, so you'll kind of get the right note of booziness. Of course, a lot of the times you just have to look and see what kind of hops are in there. So if you see anything with Amarillo or Mosaic, you'll know that'll probably have a nice tropical fruit note, but still have that kind of like spiced pininess along with it to kind of balance it out. So you'll kind of keep an eye out on that. But other than that, yeah, I don't really know a specific beer that was going to be perfectly comparable with this one, but there are so many breweries out there that make this kind of style of IPA, just a nice Imperial / double IPA. You can pretty much go anywhere and find this kind of style, and be completely honest here. So your recommendations for anything like this is just, there's so many, it's hard to really choose one. So let's look back here at Untappd, and of course, the description of this guy is pretty straightforward. It says it's brewed with Amarillo and Mosaic hops. I'm assuming that I could probably say it's around like a double dry hop they do on this guy as well. They don't really say it. They don't really kind of show it on the can. It's a double IPA, so there has to probably be some dry hopping going on in it, but to me, I would assume that it's more Mosaic on the dry hop than it is the Amarillo. Maybe they do small amounts of Amarillo in there, even though when it's a double dry hop, after the first dry hop process, you're doubling the amount that you put in there originally. But the flavors are still strong enough to where I can see there's some dry hopping going on in this guy. Plus, most likely in IPAs, there's always going to be a dry hopping process going on in it. But let's look here, of course. Let's see what we can find for rating on this guy. So like I stated before, it's an 8.4% ABV, so I would definitely not consider this beer sessionable one bit. Of course, you guys know by now my rating for sessionable beer kind of cuts off around like the 7.5 mark. So I would not consider this beer sessionable. And with over 2,509 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.15 out of 5, which is pretty damn good. That's for damn sure. This definitely has a nice average for that many check-ins on there. So let's see. Let's look back here. Of course, let's see what if anybody on my friends list checked this one in. So maybe somebody of my friends has had this one already. I know my dad probably has, and it looks like my uncle has as well. So when my uncle checks in beers, he doesn't really give it a rating. He just uses Untappd for like a catalog of beers he's had. So just to kind of let him know that he's had something. But my dad checked this one in, purchased from Tavor, which is how we got ours, and he gave it a 4 out of 5. And then we got another friend of mine on here, Tyler Selsing, who's drank his, he drank it in Hartford, Wisconsin. He gave it a 3.75 out of 5, just saying cheers. So he liked that one, so 3.75 is a pretty good rating. And then seeing my dad give this a 4 out of 5, he must have really liked this one. But let's look here at the global rating and see what other people had to say about this guy. So looks like we got a guy here that checked it in at Flanders, New Jersey. So he's in New Jersey, purchased from Tavor, and he gave it a 3.75 out of 5. This person gave it a 3 out of 5 at the Seaward Ale House, which is located in Seaward, Alaska, looks like. What else we got here? We got a 4.25 here, purchased at Anchorage Brewing Company. So he must have had this on tap over there. So this one may be something that's been on tap the past like maybe month or so. So seeing cans of this stuff available might be still an option. What else we got? We got another 4.25 here. Another 4.25 purchased from Tavor. Another 4.25. Let's see. We got a full 5 out of 5. What else? Let's see. 4.25 saying hello weekend. So this guy's just starting off the weekend having a nice IPA. What else? Yeah, we got another 4.25 here, purchased at the Smart Time Food Store, which is in Terrace, California. Terrace. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it says it's like a post office / grocery store. That's a weird combination. But it looks like he picked it up there, so that's an option for people in California. What else? This person gave it a 3.75 out of 5, purchased at K&L Wine Merchants, which is in Redwood City, California. And what he put here, he said it's too sweet, which I don't really agree it's too sweet. I think the balance of kind of the stuff in the Amarillo kind of cuts the sweetness that you're getting from the Mosaic. What else? We got another a 4.5 here purchased from Tavor. And let's do 2 more. So we got another 4. And then after that, we got another 4 out of 5. So yeah, pretty good ratings on this one, I would have to say. Definitely people look like they're enjoying this one. I don't really agree with the one dude that said that's too sweet, because I'm not really getting a crazy amount of sweetness. I mean, from the Mosaic, you're definitely getting the sweetness like of the tropical fruit notes that hops brings off. But I think that Amarillo does a really, really good job in there kind of cutting that away, giving you that almost like a little bit of citrusiness, a little bit of that like piney, almost like spice kind of notes that come with that hops. But to me, I just think it balances out perfectly. So this is definitely something that in my head, this is kind of like the style of IPA I enjoy. Still having that nice kind of tropical fruit hit in the face, having that good sweetness, but still being able to kind of cut it down a little bit, having that pininess come through, having that spice kind of note come through. So overall, I think this one is really, really well balanced and just super delicious. So ratings on this guy look pretty damn good. And looking at back here, let me scroll up some more. Of course, showing verified locations for this beer specifically. It's saying there's a place called the Sunset Mart in Rockland, California, and then there's the San Thomas Liquor in Santa Clara, California. So 2 California locations that they're showing here as verified locations for either Anchorage Brewing Company or this beer specifically. So you might be able to go over there and possibly pick this stuff up, or other beers from Anchorage Brewing Company. So let's see. With all that being said, I think it's time for us to start figuring out what we're going to be doing for ratings over here on Ard with this guy. I think I poured the rest of it in there one little bit more. And of course, first thing we like to do is look at the can art, which I really, really do enjoy this can art. Don't get me wrong, but my only gripe on it is they left a lot of space on here, which kind of still bothers me, because when you're marketing a beer, you kind of want to take up all the real estate you can. But don't get me wrong, this picture is badass, almost having like the werewolf kind of in the background and having the human skeleton, like you're transforming into a werewolf and just seeing the human skeleton with the actual werewolf, like the fur and all that kind of stuff, showing that it's still human on the inside. I really, really enjoyed that. I just wish they kind of made it bigger to kind of take up all that empty space that you see on the side right here. I think they could have maybe widened out the picture a little bit more to take up all that real estate. Of course, you still got your token things you see from Anchorage Brewing Company, like on the side right here. You got the Lilith Brethren right there, Anchorage Brewing Company. Then you got double IPA, ABV, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of the normal stuff from the kind of marketing that you get from Anchorage Brewing Company on here. I just wish this picture was a little bit bigger to take up more real estate. That's my only gripe, but overall I think the picture is absolutely fantastic. So with that, with taking the size of the image being too small into account, I'd probably get a 4.5 out of 5 for can art. If it was just a little bit bigger, taking up more of that real estate, I would have easily given it a full 5 out of 5, but to me that picture's a little bit too small. I think they could have possibly even put more detail in it to kind of market it a little bit better. But overall, I still think it's something that will definitely catch a lot of people's attention if you saw it in a liquor store or bottle shop. So let's see here. If I got this beer in a flight over at Anchorage Brewing Company, would I get another one? Absolutely. I think this is another fantastic beer. Like I said before, I really like the balance of upfront tropical fruit sweetness that you get that kind of gets mellowed out by this piney spice kind of note that comes in from the Amarillo hops. To me, that's like the perfect balance to a nice double IPA. You're still getting sweetness, like the very, very strong tropical fruit notes, but you're still getting those flavors, still reminding you that you're drinking a hoppy beer, which I think is kind of lets you know that Anchorage Brewing Company knows what they're doing, and they're really well known for their craft and all that kind of stuff. So they did an absolutely fantastic job. So with that being said, I think my final rating on this guy, what am I going to give it? I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. 8 out of 10 with this one I think is good. Of course, I've had better, but I've also had a lot worse, and I think this one from Anchorage Brewing Company is still another fantastic beer from them. I don't think they really chose to do something that would reinvent the wheel with this guy, but I still think they came out with another awesome beer that can appease a lot of IPA fans out there. So overall, very, very well done for Anchorage Brewing Company on this one. But other than that, let's see here. Yeah, 8 out of 10 is I think where I'm going to leave it with this one. But I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, as along with that notification bell. Whoa, hiccup happened. It'll let you know whenever I go live. Goddamn hiccups. I'll let you know whenever I go live to another review. I actually do have a review planned for you guys tomorrow. I just found out today that I'm not going to be going in tomorrow, just my boss is going to be there, so we're going to be catching up the stuff we have to do at the brewery on Tuesday. So I will have a review for you guys tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. Of course, keep an eye out on the Instagram. That's where you'll kind of be the first place where you'll find out what I'm reviewing. Plus, when you shoot me a follow on my Instagram, you'll be able to see a lot of the stuff that I'm doing behind the scenes over at the brewery and all that kind of stuff too, when it comes to kegging, cleaning kegs, brewing, transferring beers over to different tanks and all that kind of stuff, kegging, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you shoot me a follow on that, kind of get the behind the scenes look on some things. But of course, you can always shoot me a friend request on Untappd itself. Okay, you guys hear me talk about Untappd all the time. Like I say, it's an absolutely fantastic platform, and anybody who's a craft beer fan, I highly, highly recommend you getting yourself on there. It kind of opens up a lot of possibilities of what you could find when it comes to stuff available near you, and just locations, breweries, all that kind of stuff. It's just a fantastic platform. I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers, because that's pretty much what it is, and just how versatile it is when it comes to so many things is just really, really cool. So if you're a craft beer fan and haven't gotten yourself on Untappd yet, I really, really recommend doing so. But plus, while you're doing that, shoot me a friend request. The link to my profile is down in the description below. But last but not least, of course, the best way I'm always going to tell you guys how you can support me is to go over to the Patreon. Of course, it's something that I've been trying to push a little bit more due to kind of help me out, get more reviews out to you guys, and then possibly do some more stuff when it comes to people who join, do more giveaways, all that kind of stuff like that. So if you want to support me, that's going to be the best way to do so, because it helps me get more beer in my hands, and plus that will help me get more beer out to you guys as well. So link to the Patreon is down in the description below. Of course, over on the Patreon as well, I do monthly 4-pack giveaways of Illinois exclusive craft beer, so you'll be able to get your hands on some stuff that you normally can't get. Plus, I usually pick these out myself, so I just think it's a really, really cool thing that hopefully more people kind of get involved with, because I have a bunch of other things planned. I'm working on a Discord down the road once we get more people over to the Patreon. Then I want to do merch when it comes to shirts, and then glasswork, coasters, koozies, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to help support me and do what I do, head over to the Patreon, join it, and just have fun with the rest of us. But other than that, that again is what I have for you guys today. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. And I'm going to end this like I always do before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see y'all next time. Cheers.